Good morning, everyone. My name's Darren Long. I'm a teacher of ICT and ICT Network Manager in Gowerton School. So I don't actually work for Google, but what I'd like to do is give you my experiences and school experience of using Google Apps over the last few years. So as a bit of an introduction to our school, we're an 11 to 18 mixed comprehensive school which is based in Swansea, Wales. We have just over 1,200 pupils currently on roll, of which 158 are in our sixth form. We have just over 12% entitled to free school meals, which is slightly below the Welsh average. We have 99% of our pupils with home internet access, which I know there are schemes available in England to provide home internet access, but in Wales there's nothing available. So 99% for us is quite a good statistic, certainly higher than the LEA average. Key Stage 4 and 5 provision in our school is enhanced through partnerships with other schools in the community. So people this morning may be learning in Gowerton School, but may travel to college this afternoon. So it's very important for us to enable pupils to access the curriculum, irrespective of where they are within Swansea or the world, in fact, and be able to access that curriculum on any type of device. We went Google back in 2006. Before Google was called Google Apps, it was just Google Mail for your domain, where we switched over to Google Mail just for our email services. Some of the awards we've recently been accredited are the Vector SRF Framework, the Excellence Award last year, and just this morning, the NACE Third Millennium Learning Award. And I think it's only really due to the way Google Apps has been utilised in our school that we've been able to sort of get this external accreditation. Last year we had an ESTIN inspection, and ICT was looked at all, or in all aspects of school life. So it was looked at senior management level, teaching, learning, provision, budgeting, training, CPD and everything else. So it was quite a busy week for me. And what the outcome was in the inspection report is that pupils' IT skills are impressive. They didn't really go further into that as to why. Apart from what they said is ICT is excellent with sector-leading use of internet applications. And one of the things with this inspection report is they couldn't actually use the word Google in an inspection report. So we looked at using cloud computing as a terminology, but what they said is it's not accessible for everyone. It's a term some people may not have understood. So in the end, ESTIN decided on using internet application as the term, even though realistically it meant Google Apps. And what the inspectors also mentioned is that community links are positive, which is enhanced through innovative uses of ICT, which I'm going to go on to in a few slides' time. Now for us, the big staple that holds everything together in the last sort of 18 months or 2 years is the way Google Docs has been used throughout the curriculum. And for us, we've replaced our productivity suite on the desktop. So we're no longer licensing certain office products or productivity suites on our computer labs. Instead, what we're using is Google Docs throughout the curriculum. And what we found is it bridges the digital divide for learners, because some pupils may not have access to the most recent version of a certain product at home, or we may not be able to afford to keep up with what the pupils have at home. So for us, we've been able to include all learners, irrespective of what hardware and software they have at home. As long as they do have access to the internet, they can access the curriculum. And what we've also found is our learners are far more engaged when using Google products. And I think teenagers now, when using a computer, if it's not connected to the internet, it's a useless device. So the learners are more engaged with internet communication and using the web 24/7 more or less, and we find it engages our learners more. Something else for us, which we think is second to none with regards to Google Docs, is the collaborative learning experience, which has been mentioned this morning. We'll have a number of pupils working on the same document at the same time and being able to see each other's changes, as well as sharing that document with teachers, teaching assistants, and anybody else they choose within the school community. So pupils could be throughout different areas of the school, including teachers elsewhere, all collaborating at the same time. And obviously that's available 24/7. For us as teachers, we've been able to embed Google Docs directly into our VLE. Now, a VLE is a difficult term to explain now, because I think what a learning environment is starting to change. but we use Moodle as our main starting point. And what we found is embedding Google Docs directly into Moodle, pupils are accessing the same shared documents that teachers are collaborating on and working on, irrespective of hardware and software. So they're accessing the same curriculum, which is updated constantly 24/7. Some of the other things we've done with Google Apps is we've used it for assessment for learning and to gather information from pupils. So we've set up forms and gathered information. So we've asked kids, how do you think you've learned today in this subject area? Rate your experience out of 10. How would you change it for future classes? And Google Docs can provide that out of the box free of charge without any extra setups. We've also, the 99% statistic about internet access, we've gathered that through using Google Docs as well. I think this is a big important aspect to any school in today's economic climate, and that is the cost saving. We don't pay to license productivity suites on our desktops anymore. So we've been able to invest that money elsewhere throughout the curriculum, or indeed some ICT aspects. We've invested in a wireless infrastructure throughout the school to support cloud computing and Chromebooks and laptops and whatever else the student decides to bring to school. We've also been able to provide more ICT labs to enhance sort of access throughout the school. And one of the things for me, as being a network manager as well, I don't have to look after things. I just let Google look after things for me and upgrade things for me, and I don't have to worry about things. So it takes eases the pressure off teachers and support staff. Something else we've looked at is a centralised shared resource area, where traditionally we've had map drives on the school network with subfolders for each department shared with those department members. So only the English department could drop files into the English department folder. And we've replicated that on Google Docs. So we don't have to worry about file storage space on our server. We don't have to worry about uptime because it's pretty much 100% guaranteed. These are some of the things, or some of the ways we've engaged the community using Google Apps. Email is becoming our default method of communication. We're aiming to become a paperless society or paperless school. We're not quite there yet, but we're certainly quite a way towards achieving that. So we email parents on a daily basis. Pupils and staff also use email 24/7. We've also used the video conferencing setup built into Google Apps and Google Mail for transition events. So Year 6 pupils will be chatting to Year 7 pupils about what their experiences are about coming up to big school. Public Google Docs have also been embedded in the same fashion as embedding into VLE onto our school website. We also have a YouTube channel for extracurricular and promotional activities. If you visit the Gowerton School YouTube channel, what you see is a number of prom videos which the kids seem to watch over and over and over. They seem to love it. Sporting events, we've got rugby matches, hockey matches, concerts, and that sort of thing. So it's an extra promotional activity for the school to get involved in. We've also got a tour coming up next year to the Southern Hemisphere. So parents will be without their children for a few weeks. And I think it'll possibly be the first time that they've been apart for that amount of time. So what we're going to do is film the events throughout the day and upload them onto YouTube that evening, so the parents can sort of get an overview of what the activities are throughout the day. We also have the Google Video for Business service, where we have a visualizer in our DT or catering department with a number of LCD screens set up, so pupils can come into class, watch a demonstration with the visualizer on each screen, but then the teacher can expand that then by uploading those videos to the private Google Video channel. So pupils can still revisit the work, but if you miss out on school activities, you can still be included in learning because it's a cloud-based resource. We've also utilised Google Calendar, where we have public, private and departmental calendars shared with a number of people. And we use Blogger, where traditionally our PE department have printed sports reports and put them throughout the school on the wall, damaging our paintwork. But what they've decided to do now is put everything onto our blog. That is the most popular aspect of our website. And traditionally we've always told pupils, get off the games in the computer lab, get on with your work sort of thing. And now it's a case of get off the school blog and get on with your work. So they are my experiences and the school's experiences of using Google Apps. I'm about for the rest of the day if anybody wants to chat. Thank you for your time.